Hey, today we're going to talk about absolute value and opposite numbers. So our learning target is we are going to learn how to position and identify integers on a number line. We are going to find the opposite of an integer, and we are going to find the absolute value of an integer. I don't know why that's so fat today. Okay. Learning goals, I can identify a number, its opposite, and its absolute value. I can locate and compare and order integers and rational numbers using a number line. So, some new words for us today. Absolute value is the distance of the number from 0 on a number line. How far away from 1 is the number? The symbol is a vertical bar on each side of a number. So you're going to see that. Okay? So that symbol there with the number inside changes everything to positive. And opposite numbers are numbers that are the same distance from 0, but they're on different sides of 0 on the number line. Those are called opposites. Okay, so questions. Why is distance always positive? Absolute value, since it's a distance measurement, it is always positive. We don't have negative distances, so whether you're a -3 or a +3, you're still 3 steps away from 0. So here is a little picture here showing opposites. So 0 is the center of our number line, and then going out from that, -1, its opposite is +1. The opposite of +1 is -1. Okay, so whatever its number is, like +4, its opposite is the negative version of the same number. It goes both ways. -4 opposite, +4. So the negative symbol can also mean the opposite of a number. So you're going to see this written on some of your questions. And when we see that, we read it like the opposite. When we see that outside negative sign, we say the opposite of -12. Well, the opposite of -12, it would just be +12. Okay. We're also going to, well, we did talk about absolute value, distance from 0. So here we have our little marks with our number on the inside. Okay. That changes everything to positive. And since distance is always positive, if you see that, all you have to do is change it to positive version of the same number. So here we're showing -2 is 2 steps from 0. So its absolute value of -2 is 2. +3 right here. Its absolute value is 3 because it's 3 steps from 0. Sometimes you might see a problem like this. And all we have to do is take the absolute value, and we're going to break it down into the next step. So I'm just going to, underneath -7, I'm going to take the absolute value, which is +7, plus the absolute value of -14 is +14. So that's just going to give me 21. Okay. So you're going to do some practice. You're going to read the description carefully and write an equation that represents the description. So letter A says the opposite of -7. So I'm going to write -7, and I'm going to put it in parentheses just to keep it separate. And I'm going to put another negative sign out in front of it, because when we see this, we say the words, take the opposite of, and then we say -7. Take the opposite of -7, and that would be +7. The opposite of 25. All right, I'm going to start with 25. I'm going to put in parentheses the opposite of the opposite. So this would be opposite of 25. And then the opposite of 25. This is getting silly. So the opposite of +25 would be -25. And then I still have one opposite to take, and that would get me back to +25. All right. I'm going to switch my colors here. Okay, so we've got some practice problems here. So this first one reads, letter C, the opposite of negative 20, of the absolute value of negative 20. So this time we have absolute value, not just parentheses. So that means we have to turn what's in the bars, what's between the bars, positive. So the absolute value of negative 20 is positive 20, and I'm just going to bring down that opposite sign, and that's my answer. Okay, the opposite of the absolute value of negative 20, which would mean the opposite of positive 20, is back to negative 20. Sounds like a lot of jumping around over the 0 on the number line. Okay, this one seems a lot easier after doing that first one. Absolute value of negative 4, just change it positive. Positive 4, it's 4 steps away from 0. Also, letter E, the absolute value of 12, which is 12, plus the absolute value of negative 6, which is positive 6, is just going to equal 18. Okay, so I hope you have a better understanding of absolute value and opposites.